I don't know about you guys. I'm not a big fan of liars. And it feels like there is an imposter among us. Somebody on the Lions has been lying to us lately. Get it? Lions, lion. And that one person, well, how about you guess who this one person is? Because they said something at their press conference yesterday. So there's your hint. It's coordinators that have their press conferences at Thursday. And he said something that's somewhat insignificant for Sunday's game. But it was just another reminder. It was like, I don't believe anything this guy says anymore. No, I was gonna have you guess it, but now at this point, any hint I give you would give it away. John Morton told us, you know what? Isaac TeSlaa just has to be more involved. We're gonna get him the ball a lot more. And at first, when I heard that, I thought, okay, TeSlaa is gonna get a lot more involved. He only had 3 snaps last week. That makes sense. I want to see him get the ball too. And then I had to take a step back and think to myself, oh, it's John Morton speaking. You have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, because this is the same guy who promised us 2 running back sets. They did that for a week and a half, completely abandoned it. This is the same guy that said we're still going to have trick plays involved in this offense. Did that for a week and a half, completely have abandoned it. This is the same guy who said he wanted to get Amon-Ra the ball in the backfield more. You know what? They did that for a week and a half and then completely abandoned it. Now, whether or not Isaac TeSlaa actually is more involved in Sunday's game against the Commanders, again, I don't think matters all that much in terms of what the result of the game is. But I think we've gotten to a point with John Morton, and I know we've hit this guy really hard this week over the head with a shovel, but I don't know if I believe anything he says anymore, and that's where I'd like to start today's show.
It seems like continuously we've had this conversation of, we were duped last week. We were duped in the preseason. It feels like at this point I can't really believe it, whereas every other time I have, because what do you think these press conferences are going down like, Ben? Do you think that they're saying, like, are you going to get Isaac TeSlaa the ball? No, he's just coming out and saying this stuff. Mm-hmm. What's the point? What was the point? The JMO one made sense, right?
Oh, there's another example of stuff he told us that didn't end up coming to fruition.
Right. The JMO one made sense because clearly there was a bit of a conversation being had about Jameson Williams' production this season, and obviously his Instagram story post after the game where he had 0 catches was a little bit like, okay, it feels like they need to at least say, like, yeah, we got to get JMO going a little bit. So that one I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of believe him a little bit. Now, did they? I mean, obviously JMO has the huge touchdown at the end of that game, but prior to that, not really.
They force-fed him a couple screens that got blown up.
Right.
Which is even worse than not getting him involved at all, just forcing him the ball in ways that aren't going to be successful.
So what's the point of saying all this stuff? Just to rally up the fans? To get Isaac TeSlaa's confidence up? Like, what truly is the matter and the point of it?
If he ended up having 5 snaps on Sunday, would you be at all surprised? 0 targets, 0 receptions.
He does that every game.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not, like, begging for more Isaac TeSlaa stuff.
It'd be cool.
John Morton says that yesterday, and I'm like, I just don't believe him. And you mentioned the JMO stuff from last week. How about the JMO stuff from preseason? When he was like deeming JMO is set to have another breakout year. Oh, I know he just had 1,000 yards, but he's going to break out even more than that. Nothing that this guy tells us is coming to fruition. Now, he says yesterday during his press conference, hey, the reason that Jared Goff's struggling, the reason we can't run the ball, the reason we're not getting good pass protection is because we're losing our one-on-one assignments. He didn't take any responsibility. And honestly, I'm not even asking him to. I don't want him to sit up there on the podium and be like, I got to scheme things up a little bit better. But it was weird to be like, yeah, it's just because the line lost their one-on-ones. We got to be better in that department. And while I agree there, it's just a little weird to just flat out call out your entire offensive line and say, none of them are winning one-on-ones. I don't know, man. Everything he says at this point, and I don't mean to villainize him and make him public enemy number 1 for Lions fans, because I don't think we've gotten to that point quite yet. But he's not really giving us a reason to give him the benefit of the doubt in any way, shape, and form right now. Why tell us that Isaac TeSlaa needs to get the ball more? Because I've heard this one too. I heard this one at the beginning of the season. Oh, we got to do everything we can to get this guy involved early. Khalif Raymond outsnaps him every week. And I'm not saying like I want Isaac to slide out snap Khalif Raymond. If he's a better player, then fine. He's a developmental piece. He always was meant to be. His training camp was the reason that we all wanted him to see him more right away anyway. But what's the point, I guess, is my question. Why does he keep lying to us? Does he know he's lying straight to our faces? Is he just bad in front of like public speaking? Is he saying all this stuff with the real intention of fixing things? Now, this isn't to the level that like, you know who the most notorious liar in Detroit sports was the last few years, right?
Who?
Monty Williams.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we need to stop playing these all bench lineups. I'm not going to do that anymore. We're going to get the rotation down to about 9 guys next game. 4 minutes into the game, here comes an all bench lineup. 24 hours later, 13 guys play in the next game. Like, that guy is the biggest liar, and we saw it on a tri-weekly basis. Now, with Morton, it's a little bit different. He only gets in front of a microphone once a week, every Thursday, but it feels like every single Thursday he's just spewing BS out of his mouth. And yesterday is another example, and I just wanted to bring it to anyone's attention. Does anyone believe anything John Morton says anymore? I don't. And he lost me yesterday when he said, we got to get
Right.
Tesla involved. Why? First of all, why do we have to get him involved? Second of all, why are you telling us this when we know it's not true? He's gonna have 5 snaps again.
If he has 1 catch, is he right?
Sure. I
Does
guess.
that count as getting him involved? I mean, that's the part that I'm interested in. Is this when he has these quotes? Is he purposely doing it ahead of a week to be like, it's going to happen this week, or does he mean long-term wise? Because if Jameson Williams just continuously progresses through the season and gets more and more involved, then yeah, he was right. It wasn't this short-term thing. But my whole thing is like, what has he said that we can believe him on? You know?
Literally nothing.
What quotes has he said that we were like, oh yeah, he was right about that? Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the number 1 running back, and David Montgomery is going to be behind him. No, he didn't say that. He actually said that they were going to play on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and we saw that for, again, everything he said preseason about, like, the trick plays, the 2 running back sets, all that stuff was abandoned a week and a half. Remember, Amon-Ra got the ball handed to him, pitched it to Gibbs. It was like, awesome. Like, this is fun. This is awesome again. They did it one more time, it failed, and then that was it. Right? They have completely abandoned all the stuff that we were promised pre-snap or preseason. Remember what else he said? We want to start using Gibbs as a wide receiver. It wasn't just about the 2 running back sets. It was about we need to get this guy in the slot. We need to use him as a weapon, just like when on the day that they drafted him, Brad Holmes said, we don't view him as a running back. We view him as an offensive weapon. John Morton doubles down on that too. You know how many snaps he has in the slot this year?
0?
5. It's just not a very high number. Not for a guy who you tell us year in and year out is this dual threat guy who can do all this different stuff out of the backfield in the receiving game. He just hasn't very much been utilized in that department, and his average depth of target when he does catch a pass starts with a negative. He's catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Line this guy up. Bring David Montgomery out there. Make defensive coordinators stressed out. Or at the very least, don't tell us that that's what you're going to do, get us all excited, and then pull the rug out from in front of us or do the Lucy, Charlie Brown whiff on the kick. Speaking of whiffing on kicks, you watched Thursday Night Football yesterday?
Yeah, that wind
my
was
God.
tough conditions there.
That was the worst football game I've ever watched. And I know that gets thrown around a lot, but have you ever watched a game with more penalties than first downs? The answer is no, because it hasn't happened in nearly 50 years. My God. I know every week we got to...
I know Lions Commander's not going to be that bad, that's for sure.
No, I know every week we do, hey, is this team fraudulent? And this week, we're not even to Sunday yet, and congratulations to the Denver Broncos. You get the award for Fraudulent Team of the Week. Somehow win the game, stumble into an 8-2 record, number 1 seed in the AFC. But good golly almighty, Bo Nix, if there's a reason that they're not a Super Bowl contender, it's the guy who's at the helm playing quarterback. That was... alarming to say the least. I'm not a Bo Nix guy. He can't be that bad, right? There's no way he's that bad of a quarterback.
that was terrible. I mean, he did everything he could do to keep the Raiders in that game yesterday, and then Geno Smith said, "Hold my beer, buddy."
Yeah, just if you had Brock Bowers in fantasy, and I know you did.
I did.
I'm sorry about that. 989-837-6125. So let's get that out of the way. I don't believe anything John Morton has to say. If you guys have any comments on that, we've got the text line 989-837-6125. We got the YouTube chat as well. We'll be peeking in there once in a while. Next, I want to talk about what do you want to see from the Lions offense this week. I think I wrote down 4 or 5 different things because this offense has obviously been struggling as of late, and I want to see this start to turn a corner. And I told you guys yesterday, I think they have to kind of shift their identity a little bit. I don't think they're built to be this power run game anymore, even though they have a first ballot Hall of Famer at right tackle. Those interior guys have just struggled, so I want to see a quick passing game. Get the ball out as fast as possible. So what does that look like? I want to go through what do we want to see from the Lions offense this week against the Commanders when we come back. 989-8